Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ashley Moore with the LifeLink Foundation, and April is National Donate Life Month, so we're here to talk a little bit about organ and tissue donation today. So I'm going to be answering a few questions. If you guys have any comments or questions, please leave them in the comments below.
Thank you so much for being here, Ashley. What does LifeLink do, and how do they work with Donate Life Florida?
So Life counties on the west coast of Florida, state organ and tissue donor registry. So if somebody wants to become a donor, that's where they can go to actually designate their wishes.
So what can be donated, and how many lives can one person save or enhance?
So with organ donation, you can actually save up to 8 lives. There are 8 different organs that can be recovered. There's the heart, the liver, the small intestine, the pancreas, the 2 lungs, and the 2 kidneys. So those are the 8 organs that can be transplanted. And then with tissue, there's a lot that somebody can donate with tissue. We consider corneas, tendons, ligaments, heart valves, veins, and skin to all be very life-saving or life-enhancing tissues. So roughly, with tissue donation, we say up to 75 individuals can be helped from one organ donor and one tissue.
A little bit.
So there's a lot of different ways that tissue can be utilized. For some people, like burn victims, you need a really protective covering over the skin because you're very susceptible to infections at that point. So skin is a very good barrier to have for somebody who needs that type of enhancement. We do a lot of spinal graft surgeries, so there's a lot of bone that's taken that can be actually cut down to help somebody who has maybe a crushed disc or a pinched nerve in their back. So we do a lot of spinal graft surgeries. We also use whole bone for reconstruction type surgeries. So children with cleft palates, they need facial reconstruction, or our military men and women coming back from war have issues with their bones, and sometimes we can actually use whole bone to do reconstruction for them as well.
How do you register to become a donor?
So in the state of Florida, you can go to donatelifeflorida.org to register. A lot of people sign up when they go to the tax office or the driver's license office to get their ID. So you can also say yes when you're at that facility, but really what happens at the end of the day is that information gets uploaded to Donate Life Florida, which is our state registry. So everyone actually has a profile if you've registered on your license. And you can check your license, you can pull it out, it'll say organ donor underneath your picture if you've already done it. And then you could go online to donatelifeflorida.org, you could put your driver's license number in, and you can actually see your profile. And that profile, you can actually check off every organ or every tissue you do or don't want to donate. You can actually make it very specific.
Wow. If I'm an organ donor, does that impact the care I receive at the hospital?
That's a great question. A lot of people sometimes have this misconception or fear that, if I sign up on my driver's license, they're not going to try to save me. And there's nothing that could be further from the truth. When you're an organ donor, it does not affect the care that you're going to receive at the hospital. In fact, when you put it on your license, that's actually just a visual for you to know that you've done it. We don't look to that for verification. When the organ recovery organization comes in, it is only after death has occurred. And we actually look to our database, and only the recovery organizations can see the Donate Life Florida database. So the doctors that are working on you, the paramedics that are working on you, they actually don't even know if you're a registered donor or not. And frankly, their job is to save your life. Again, donation only occurs after death has occurred.
Are there age limits to donation?
We get this a lot, especially down here in Florida. And there is no age limit to donation. A lot of people confuse us sometimes with blood donation or bone marrow donation, which are both great things, but some of those have limitations. With organs, we actually try to look at all different types, so there is actually no age limit. One of our oldest donors on record was 92, and he was actually able to donate his liver. So we really try to make donation happen if we can. We all don't know how we're going to be when you to sign up. It can't hurt. What our job is to do the testing for those organs to see if they're going to be safe and to be able to help somebody else.
What if I have a health condition? Can I still donate organs?
Yes, we still recommend, even if you have a health condition, to go ahead and register. Again, it can't hurt. Some examples of that are hepatitis. A lot of our patients that are waiting for transplant already have some of these diseases, and they don't mind if that organ has it as well. A lot of times too, with the medical technology that we have, some hepatitis is actually being undetectable in the system with new medications. So it's actually helping that transplant live longer because we can actually get rid of those diseases. Another great example is HIV. About 2 years ago, we actually got approved to recover HIV organs for patients who already have HIV condition. Doesn't necessarily rule you out. Again, it doesn't hurt to register.
And what about lifestyle choices such as smoking or alcohol or drug use?
Time of death, but the reality is, even all of those conditions that you've mentioned, we've been able to recover and transplant organs from all different types of patients. Again, it's really at time of death we kind of see how those organs are doing, and again, they don't have to be 100% perfect. And there are many times with different types of death, unfortunately, that we are still able to recover, including drug overdoses.
Is there a cost burden to the family of the donor?
For organ and tissue donation, there is no cost to the family. That's actually the cost LifeLink incurs to actually do the recovery and transport of the organs.
And how does the organ transplantation process work? Meaning, how is it decided who gets an organ? Could someone pay to be moved up on the waiting list?
That's right. So the waiting list is actually done through the United Network for Organ Sharing. It's a national wait list, so anybody who needs a transplant has to go through testing and get put on this wait list. You're basically a blind number in the system, so it doesn't matter how much money you have, it doesn't matter your status, you're a blind number in that system. So when we actually have an organ available, we look at a couple of different factors, including your medical and also your geography, because where that person passes away pretty much gives us a time limit to where we can get those organs transplanted to. We're going to look to match blood type. Roughly the size of the organ is going to matter within a certain percentage, and then again the distance to that person. So we're trying to find the perfect match. We put all the information about those donor organs into the UNOS system, and it has an algorithm that actually gives us the top 2 candidates that are going to match that organ. We always have an A candidate and we have a B candidate, and that B is a backup in case A walks in and is unable to get that transplant that day if they're too sick to withstand maybe a surgery.
And does transplantation actually work? Do people actually get better?
Yes, so many of patients who get transplanted oftentimes are suffering from some really terrible diseases, including kidney failure and liver failure. And when you're in those types of situations, you have a lot of issues going on where you go from being a functional human to basically not being able to change the remote, change the channel on your TV. Patients, when they do get transplanted, often do return to many healthy activities, going back to work, being able to be active again, and regaining a lot of their cognitive abilities that maybe they lost when they got sick. So it truly is a transformative thing to see.
And how does Sarasota
for 3 days after a donation has occurred, and after that 3 days is up, you guys take that flag down and we actually mail it to that donor family to honor that donor and that decision that they made to help save lives.
Thank you so much. Are there any other tips or pieces of information you'd like people to know?
Just a few things. If you are considering becoming an organ donor, go to donatelifeflorida.org. You can register there. You can get more information. And one of the things we really recommend doing is whatever your decision is about donation, be sure to tell a family member or a loved one what you would want. It's important for them to know so that there's no question if and when that comes up that they already know what your wishes are. Thank you guys for having us.
Thank you.